Michael, it's been over a month now since we had our latest update on how you're doing with your potential consortium to buy Manchester United Football Club. And I think it's important that we get people updated with what's been happening over the past month.
Yeah, 100%, John. Must keep people in the frame, updated. And as you well know, I've been very busy, spending a lot of time in London, as far north as Edinburgh, and flying here, there and everywhere, talking to the people that I know can put the funds together to make this bid to Messrs Glazers in the hope that we can have a change of ownership of our great football club. But also, I think interestingly, I have met now with most of the senior fan groups that I know, leading fan groups, and they have been so supportive. I've been absolutely delighted with their level of support and their enthusiasm, their motivation. We're all singing from the same hymn sheet, John. We need new owners of Manchester United. I'm still hoping and praying that the great Jim Ratcliffe suddenly appears like the saviour, like the knight in shining armour from the horizon to really solve all our problems. Not easy to raise the sort of money that this current ownership would certainly need to even get them around a table. So that's what I've been doing, John. Speaking to the people that I'm pulling together to make this bid. Yes, it will be a hostile bid, in that the club isn't officially for sale. And I understand why the likes of Jim Ratcliffe are not really going to get involved in a hostile bid. But one day, I'm hoping the Jim Ratcliffes will come out of the shadows and say, yes, I'm here to support you. If I can't do that, then the people I'm talking to over these last few months are there, they're ready, they've made pledges. What I need to try and do is turn those pledges of support, financial support, into harsh reality.
I know fans are very impatient, they want results now, but I also know that you're a man who's impatient. You want to get this done now. It's not a case of never, never. People might think it's taken a long time, but in actual fact, what you've achieved over a small amount of time is quite incredible. What I've seen firsthand is the response from the fan groups has been universally, from what I can see, very positive, and people want to support you. And when you first set out that appeal to the fans to unite, how close are you now, do you think, to having that universal support that you need to get the thing over the line?
I can safely say, John, we've made tremendous strides. We've been in touch with, we estimate, over 1 million fans from around the world have supported us via websites, via Twitter account, via Facebook, by contacting myself directly to encourage support. There are reams and reams and reams of people from all over the world saying, please, please do your best to make this happen. That's what I'm doing. I can't do any more. Just making sure that I do my best to pull these people together. That's my role. That's my job.
And from what you're able to relay to the investors, do you think that's going to give them the comfort that they need to go forward? Because obviously no investors want to incur the wrath of the Glazers.
Absolutely. There's no question. We cannot really present a bid until we can go in to Old Trafford, sit round a table with a formal offer document and say, look, here's the offer document, here's the proof of funds, this is the sort of money we think you should be considering, not the inflated values that there's a family might put on it, or some of their own supporters may say the club is worth this. We will put it on the table, a proper, formal, commercially proper, formal bid, which we think is certainly not a cheeky bid, it's a realistic bid. And we believe the Glazers are going to have to listen the moment you say, sponsors now want this to happen. Major sponsors can see an ownership of this football club. A change of ownership is required. The fans universally, I can now say with confidence, having spoken to all the major, and I mean all, I'm not leaving any group out, having spoken directly to them personally, they've gone out of their way to come and air their views to myself, I can say we have universal support. I would go as far as to say we're well over 95% of all fans throughout the world that want an ownership change. And this is nothing personal against the Glazers, as I say in each video, in that we want owners who don't need to take 1.5 billion plus pounds out of our football club. We want people that are not having to service massive gearing debt of best part of £500 million still. And we want people who don't need to be drawing the level of dividends that the Glazer family have been drawing. That's all we ask, and I'm well down the track to pull those people together. Still a long way to go, John, but I'm working flat out on this project.
I know I'm biased, but I do feel that we're actually genuinely in a situation now where we can start to talk the price down at Manchester United Football Club. There is pressure on the Glazers. They haven't got, we've heard from their own chief executive, they haven't got the money to fix the team and the stadium. They need money. The share price has gone down. It feels like this is the right time to make this bid.
Absolutely right. Look, as I've said in the past, this ownership have taken the polish off our great football club. It's tarnished. It's damaged. We've finished sixth. We've got 58 points at the end of the season. That's not good enough. Now look, I know fans always get excited at the start of a new season, ready for the big kick-off. We've got the excitement of Erik Ten Hag, who is a proven manager. He did brilliant at Ajax. Let's hope he can do the same at Old Trafford. And few new signings, not nearly as active in the transfer market as I would have hoped, and not nearly as many what I call targets we really should have been looking at, because we know they simply haven't got the money of their own to invest, and they certainly haven't got the money to improve our Old Trafford, which should be the greatest stadium in the world. That's what it was when I was a director. When I was a director, we could go out and buy any player in the world because we had no debt, and we didn't have people taking 20, 30 million pounds a year out of the club. So yeah, don't get overexcited. Even if we're top of the table, we mustn't lose focus. Don't let the current ownership fool anyone if we happen to be top of the table, because it's simply a myth that under this ownership we can restore our great club to where it should be. We need a change of ownership.
I mean, as a fan, we're both fans. Manchester United is our football club. And as you say, we're all excited about the new season. We want our team to do well. But I think it's important to underline that message. I mean, all the fan groups that we've spoken to, they say the same thing. They don't want success that we hopefully will have at the start of the season to hide the fact that we need a change of ownership, and nothing really changes if the team is doing well. We're doing well in spite of the current regime. Isn't that the truth?
That is the truth. That's the 100% factual case of the matter. Even if we win the first 6 games, we go 10 games unbeaten. Manchester United's top of the table. Wow, we will all be delighted. But let me tell you, don't let that mask the fact that the current owners are still there. If we're top of the table, all credit to the coaching staff, the new players that have arrived, and the dressing room clear out that we've just had, and the atmospheric change across the playing side. All credit to the new manager. I believe he's a bit of a disciplinarian. In fact, I know he is, and I know that he will stamp his authority. He won't have any prima donnas in that dressing room. And let's be frank, if he's really proving his mettle, which I think he might, be fantastic. But let's not lose sight of the fact. Let's not run away with the idea that suddenly all is well. It's not, and it won't be until the fans have got proper fans on the board of directors, until the fan groups own more than 25.1% of the voting shares, the B shares, or whatever new structure comes in. A condition of mine is that fan groups must own a minimum of 25.1%. That is a precondition for myself of any new owner group. As I say, I'm not looking to be a director, certainly not chairman, or any involvement at all. I'm happy to drive this forward. I'm happy to work away behind the scenes, and then that's my job done. When we've achieved new ownership, I'm still hoping and praying for Jim Ratcliffe to come forward. That would make my job a lot easier.
Meantime, we're looking forward to that opening match of the season at the beginning of August. And my final question is kind of a little bit of a curveball, really, but we know that one of the fan groups that we've met, the 1958 group, they're planning a big protest on that day. It doesn't hide the fact that the fans want the football club to do well, does it? And how important do you think it is that fans go there and support the protest?
Well, it's critical. All fans... So, look, I would never, ever condone violence or aggression or anything that is illegal, of course not. But we must register our dissatisfaction, our disappointment with the current ownership, even if we're top of the table, because I don't believe it's ever going to come right, in the right sense of the word right, until we have new owners of our football club. And I've just lost faith in the Glazer family. As I said earlier, the last videos I've done with you, the European Super League project, that debacle was the very last straw for me. I know we've made strides, and I know there's an independent football regulator now. Even in the Queen's speech it was mentioned, so this government in its manifesto will have that. And yes, I applaud that concept. What worries me a little bit, I don't want politicians running our wonderful game. I want fans to run it, and proper football people. I don't want bureaucrats and technocrats and regulators dissuading your local businessman coming forward because he's been successful buying Grimsby or Accrington Stanley or Macclesfield or Carlisle, because I don't want them being put off by over-bureaucratisation and technocrats telling them how to run the football club. All we need to do is protect these magnificent community assets. All we need to do is to make sure that the people are fit and proper and are there for the right reasons. I don't believe at the greatest club in the world, our club, Manchester United, we haven't got the right people there. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought with them all this gearing and they wouldn't be taking £1.5 billion out of our club.
So your final comment then, just to wrap up. Michael Knighton is still here. Michael Knighton's fighting hard. He's been working hard in the background, and we'll keep people updated when there's something firm to announce.
Absolutely, John. Rest assured, I'm on this project a great deal of my time. I've met some really important influencers and investors, and I'm working hard. I will continue until we have a change of ownership. As I say, Jim, if you're listening to this, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, please come and make my job easy and make my job redundant. You are the man. But in the meantime, if I can't get Sir Jim, I will continue battling away to bring these consortia together. That's what I'm doing, John. Thanks very much, by the way, everyone out there, for your continued support. It's very much appreciated.